Hi there, my name is Patmos and welcome to the next episode of our How to Play with Foundation. And well, as you can see, I've created an overview of our little town. And well, let me tell you what we have planned for today. Today I'm thinking about unlocking the church and start building a stone church. And probably just do some economic stuff. And by that I mean making sure that we get our income going. Which basically means that, for instance, we don't have too many planks. We can sell quite a few planks every time people come in. So I want to raise production for planks and for berries, etc., so that we have plenty of everything to sell. So plenty of money comes in through trade, and that'll help us grow our little town. So I'll get time rolling, but that's basically the idea for today. What we need to do first is unlock the church. Now we have the points for that, so no problem. We can unlock the stone wall as well. We're not going to build a stone wall because we will be growing a lot. There it is, we get a quest, build a church. We get 100 gold coins if we do. Now that seems like a lot, but I can tell you that's nothing, and a church is very expensive and costs a lot of materials. Now what we do know is that we have a church already there where we can host 100 people. We have 101 right now, which could pose us with a problem because, well, we don't have enough room for all the people to go to church. So what we need to do is assign people to workplaces, of course. That's one of the things we need to do. Let's switch these around. I like that better. How many free people do we have? Just one. Well, let's turn it into a cutter. So basically what I want to do is build a blueprint for the church. And since this is the new area for our city, I'm going to build the church right here in this area, I think. So let's go to the church view. Now don't select the rustic church, select the normal church. We're going to build it somewhere here. And there it is. Let's start with a core building. We can always move the church, so that's not a real issue. You don't have to place it on the right spot straight away. I want it to slightly bigger. Let's place a tower in front of it. Now sometimes when you click it and you want to raise it, that doesn't really work, so you have to adjust the view a bit. Now this looks kinda nice. We put a big cross on there, of course. I think we should go with a decently sized church to begin with. We can always make it bigger later, but I would like to start with a decently sized church. Now this looks rather okay. I think we are going to build two of those expansions at the same time, so that it looks kind of like a church looked in the Middle Ages. Let's put in a door. And well, is this the spot we want, or do we want to move it a little bit? I think this is about the spot we want, close to the city center, to the marketplaces. Now if we just make a circle here, an imaginary circle, it's a bit too close. So perhaps we should be moving it a bit so that we can really make a full circle. So I'm going to place it like this, and then this whole area will be affected by the church, and we can use that for people to live. Now, it has a door, it has a core, it has a bell tower. It costs us quite a bit of coins a week, but we can deal with that. So let's start construction. Now, I don't want to prioritize the church because it's not a priority. They can just slowly build it, that's fine. I do want to promote a few people. Let's see, how much money do we have? Quite enough. So let's promote these, because these will then be needing new stuff like extra food, etc., and that will make extra money. Don't do too many, this is about it, it's fine. And well, first of all, they need to really build those houses. I always prioritize the housing, or you get, you see, you get trouble with people not being able to go to a house. Our bridge is done, which is nice. However, since this is an early access game, sometimes you get trouble with bridges. I mean, I can put down buildings here and have them build it, but quite a lot of times I've seen that the builders will go across, put all the materials there, but they won't just go there and build the structure. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Right now, I don't think our economy can support all these empty buildings here. So I'm not going to build something here right away. We're going to do that later when our economy is doing a little bit better. For now, I like it just the way it is. And what we need to do now is find houses they are building and prioritize those. We do have plenty of wood, so that's not an issue. It's just 10 wood for a building, so that's fine. New villagers arrived, which is always a good thing. Let's put them to work. Now we were working on the lumber camp, so let's fill that. I want more berries because we can sell those. Numbers going down slowly because we had like 175 when we started. So that's a thing. We have an empty warehouse and we don't use any of the spaces, which is interesting and makes me wonder why we have built that warehouse. Probably to put in things like swords. So we can buy a few swords. Perhaps I've already set that to happen. Let's check. No, we didn't do that. Well, probably later on we will do that, because then I will buy like 5 swords, so we have 10 soldiers and we can do 2 missions, 2 easy missions at the same time. Which could be really interesting and really beneficial when you think about the money that we'll make. Now, I do like to get rid of all these trees because they just blur my view. As you can see right here, we've already removed quite a few trees. So I'm just going to get these zones out because I like to keep a clear view. And especially when you do zoning, it's nice that you can just remove zoning. For instance, we can just do it here and then say, well, that's just it. I just really like when I have to do some real zoning, we can just get rid of the old ones. So no zoning needed here as well, because this area is already cleared. Can select these trees, of course, because they have to go anyway. I want all the trees out. And that'll take some time, and that's nice. They can just work all the time. Later on, we have to probably get a forester that will get new forests in, because if you cut down all the forest, of course, no one can cut a tree. But for now, this is all just fine. They can just chop down whatever they like and make free space. For instance, this area could be quite good for farming, but with all those trees we can't do any farming, so we have to get rid of those trees. There's an envoy coming in, which is nice. Let's see what he wants. He wants fish. Do we have the fish? Yes, we do, so that's no problem. And the good thing with the envoy is that he gives us money. Now, do we have one to favor? Well, we don't have the trade bonus yet because we don't have the points for that. So, I'm going to favor the clergy this time. And we will send the fish to the clergy. We'll get 200 coins for that. And we can now unlock the trade bonus, which gives a 20% trade bonus when we trade with villages of allegiance. So that's nice. And we have plenty of money, so let's buy a few extra pieces of land. Let's do those 2, that's fine. Gives us also the extra space here. Some extra trees to cut. But yeah, I would really like to... When I started this village, it's already quite a while ago. I started down here. If I would do it over right now, I would start... There's probably a starting point right here, I believe. I would start there and just build my village right here in the middle, a big village, and do a lot of industry here. I can probably show you one of my trial villages later on, where I have done that and how that looks, but for now we're just focusing on this village, of course. Well, if we just check our resources, we can see we have plenty of wood, because, well, quite a lot is used for all those houses, and still we have a decent amount, so that's good. We have enough berries, number is climbing again, which is good. We're not producing any bread, so that's one of the focuses we will have later on. We have plenty of fish, we have plenty of clothing, and our number of planks is running up again, which is really good. I like that. So that all looks good. And sometimes it's just good to see what can we sell. We are selling berries, we are selling polished stones, and we are selling planks. Now, of course, we won't be selling a lot of polished stones right now because a lot go into the church, but later on we can. One of the other things we might sell in the future is bread. So it can be good to focus on bread, so we can start selling that. We are already selling fish, we are selling clothes. These barrels can be quite good to produce and sell, so those can be things to focus on in the early game, since, well, we get a nice income from that. 75 of our plus 100 comes from trade, which is a lot. So focusing on trade, especially like when you have your village going and it's just running a bit, just focus on trade and bring in a lot of money. Then you can buy all the areas, start chopping the wood, and then you can really expand and do nice things. Well, always keep an eye on your military. Everyone is fully trained except this one. She's, or he, I don't know, is wounded. Let's hope he gets well soon so we can send them on a mission again. Now it appears most of the buildings are done, so now they are focusing on the church. They're already building it. No one can attend yet, and we need quite a lot of tools. So what I might do, we are now buying 15 tools at any time. Let's put that up to 25. That doesn't mean you will buy 25 every time. They don't bring 25 tools every time, but, well, at least we will have a bigger supply, which I think is good. And now let's just keep an eye. Well, the church is just progressing. Buildings are good. Well, we could finish the church. That would be nice, because quite a few people are already missing church. But once one of the cores is done, they can already go to the church even if it's not finished. So we could think about expanding this one a little bit so we can accommodate all people in church, but I don't think we really need to. People are still quite happy. More villagers are coming in. We still have one unemployed, so let's give him a job. Probably in this warehouse. So at least there is someone there. And I think we should think about what to put in that warehouse. Now this one is filled with wood, which is nice. This one is filled with stones, which is nice. So we have swords right here. Probably should put in tools here as well. I don't know where else they are. Probably here, yes. But this is all empty, so that's a good thing. That's already gone now. So what I'm going to do, put these villagers to work. In, well, for instance, the gathering hut. Anything else? No. Well, put one in that warehouse. Then we'll get rid of these right here. And we will put them all in there. There's just one unemployed, but that's fine. Now we can get rid of this warehouse. So let's do so, because it's completely empty. And that freed up this area. One of the next things we have to do is move our sheep industry. And once we have done that, this area is also suitable for housing, because right now people don't want to live there. Later on they might want to, so we'll see. Now we've freed this area for the church, which is a good thing. But people might just want to live here, so let's make this a green zone. And here as well. And that should help us in expanding. There are no warnings, which is also fine. So now we can seek to improve our economy. And one of the ways to improve our economy, I think, is by making sure we can farm. So I'll buy 2 more spaces, and farmland should be generated here. Now there's a lot of trees still there, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to build a lumber camp right here. Let's start. And tell them to cut down these trees. They will always chop down the trees closest by, so I'll just skip this. He will start chopping and cleaning out the area so we can get farms there and a windmill and a bakery. And I think we should also start working on that already. I mean, we don't have to wait with that. So we can just tell, for instance, that right there should be a farm. I'm not going to click it yet. I'm not going to fully build it because what I want to do is work our way up. So right here we have a bakery, which people don't mind living to next to. So we can just put it right here. Yes. And then we can get the windmill going. As you can see, no red circle, so people don't mind living next to a windmill as well. Yes, we don't have the coins for that, but that's fine. Next to that will be the farm, which they also don't mind living next to. So let's build the farm. And then we have to build a granary, which they also don't mind living next to. So I think this is good. Put the granary right there as well. Ooh, we get 4 new people in, so, well, we have the people to occupy all these buildings, that's good. And, well, since we are going to expand our village this way anyway, all the way up in the middle here, we don't really need this space for villages anyway, and this way it's close to this market, so bread can go to that market rather quickly. So all we have to do now is wait for the money to come in, and then we can build all those buildings. The granary can already go. Let's make this one a transporter, since that's his occupation already. He's experienced in that, and he will go to that granary once he's done. We can already set jobs, so we can already make, for instance, 3 farmers and a miller. So that's all. As soon as those buildings are done, they will just move in there. So they know what they will have to do. Now I'm going to speed it up a little bit more, because, well, why go slow if you can go fast? There's not that much to do. We'll keep an eye on our soldiers, but he's still wounded. Nothing happening there. Church is going well. We just need a few more tools. And a few planks, but we have plenty in stock, so that's no problem. Once those tools come in, everything can be done. Housing is no longer a real problem. Church also is only a small problem, so let's hope they can finish the church rather quickly. They are also, yeah, they're also bringing in stuff here. They also need tools for that, so that might ensure that it takes a bit of time to build it, but that's fine. We're not really in a hurry. The thing with this game is don't just hurry. I'm going to prioritize the church because I want it done. More and more people coming in, and I want everyone to be able to go to church. As you can see, the number of people lacking church was 3, now it's 4. And it's already 5 again, so that number is climbing. So I want people to be able to go to church. That's an important thing. People get unhappy, they will leave. How do you know if people are unhappy? That's a question I got. Well, I'll pause the game right here. You can see it right here. As you can see here, this one is very happy. But right here is one that's not so happy. Global happiness 25. Then if you click them, you can see whether they are able to get their the things they need. Well, this one doesn't, but it's looking to fulfill its needs, and it's already 1 water reserved, so it's going to a well and fill all its needs. Now sometimes you can get to a villager, and, well, let's just go up a little bit, see if there's anyone else unhappy. Yeah, right here. And, well, that's basically one that can already fill all its needs. Sometimes you find someone and which is not able to fulfill all its needs. And then you can just look at, well, why can't you fill all your needs? Perhaps because you don't create the type of goods they want. So if they want luxury goods, we're not producing any luxury goods, then you can get into trouble. So for instance, if we look here, you want a church, he wants 2 types of food. Well, we do produce 2 types of food. We have berries, fish, and we have a little bit of bread. So he can fulfill all his needs. But if you think like, well, people are unhappy, why are they unhappy? You can just go check all these faces, see the unhappy ones, and check if you can provide them with everything. If you, for instance, I'm gonna unpause by the way, if you only produce berries and fish, and you have one that needs 3 types of food, then you can easily know why she's unhappy, he or she. So make sure that you check that every now and then. If you see people are unhappy, why are they unhappy? because if they stay unhappy too long, and as you can see, this one lacked church, which is a minus 60 score out of 100, which is a lot, and that might make them leave your village. And this, in this case, it's an experienced builder. She can build quite fast, so I don't want to lose Mary. So make sure that you know all the needs of your villagers and keep them happy to make sure that they stay in your village. And they can be unhappy for a short period of time without any issues, but not too long. Already new villagers coming in? No. Do we have any free jobs? No. So that's a thing to keep in mind. Now this number is falling a bit. We don't make as much money, but that's basically because we are buying quite a lot of tools to finish all our buildings. So we know why that is. That's only temporary. After that it'll be fine. As you can see right here, the core building is almost done. Not done yet because it's still 0 people that can go to church, but as soon as it's done it will go up to 20, and 20 more people can go to church, which means everyone in our city can go to church. There, it's done, and now it's 20 people that can go to church, which is really good. So basically our church problems should be solved right now. And as more and more parts of the building will be completed, more and more people can go to church. So that's a good thing. And it's a nice building. I mean, it looks amazing. And well, that's one of the things I really like about this game. They've really put work in how things look. I mean, it is all quite simple looking. It's not like amazingly detailed, but it just has the right feeling to it. It feels really good. It feels really nice. And I just enjoy looking at my village. And I hope, of course, in the future they will add more details, etc. That will be very nice, but right now I like this a lot. Our economy is doing quite okay. We have a growing number of berries, which is good. Especially if we get into harsh times with rain, we really need a lot of berries. So that's a good thing. Our lumber camp is done. Fish is growing even further. We have to keep an eye on our clothes, because that number is quite stable at the moment. Which means that only like 10 or 15 people extra have to come in, and it will fall, and at some point, if you don't provide them with clothes, they will get unhappy very quickly. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. And I will do that, of course. For now, I just wish new people came in, so we can provide them with new jobs. For instance, a woodcutter, and make sure that they cut a lot of wood and make this area free for our farmer. Well, let's hit speed 3 again. I've been doing a lot of talking this episode. Not too much building, so let's hope things will speed up a bit. As we can see, we have quite a bit of wool. So perhaps we can do with an extra tailor anytime soon, and they'll solve our issues. Sometimes it can also be beneficial to just build an extra warehouse and make sure that it's just focused on clothes again, so that you can really have a nice buffer of clothes, which of course a lot you can sell, and the rest will just be there for times when our population is growing, and that gives us time to adjust our production, which would be nice. Now this looks also very nice. They're really cutting down quite a few trees, which is good. I want those trees gone. An envoy is approaching, is requesting an audience already, so he's there. That's what happens at speed 3. And it wants berries. Well, we've unlocked all of these, so we don't have to invest in clergy points right now. We do need more points for the kingdom in order to unlock these. We have 24 of these, so that's enough, but we need more points. I'll show you in the next episode how to do that. And this is all unlocked as well, but we only have one spending point here, so I'm going to do with the people. We'll deliver the berries to the people. Of course we get 200 coins for that, which is nice. And yeah, that's done. Now the granary is done, so what we have to do now is make sure that it can have wheat, flour, and of course a lot of bread. So as soon as our farm is done, they can start working there. A new military mission is available. Ah, nice. It's no longer wounded. He's partially trained. As soon as he's completely trained, we will send out our military again. We have 2 unemployed people. I'll make them woodcutters as well. So we will have 3 woodcutters right there that will work on chopping down these trees and making room for our farm. Church is done, looking really nice. We can host 46 people, which means we can almost host 150 people in our churches altogether, so that's good. We can grow a bit more without having trouble with people lacking church. Do need to bring in more money though. But with all the tools we are buying, that's not going so fast. Let's hope we can quickly send our military out again on a nice mission, which will bring in quite a bit of money. 2 people joining again, which is nice. I don't really know how that works, but I think it is based on either how well you are doing, so are you fulfilling your people's needs, but there's also just, I think, like a dice roll or something. So it's not that if your village score is 100, 4 out of 4 will join you. I've had a village going on which had happiness be around 100 for a long period of time, and still 2 people came by, none joined. So I think there's also just like a little random factor in it. I've had villages where people were quite unhappy. The number was like 60, 55, and 4 out of 4 joined. So I don't really know how it works. I haven't really looked into that, but I think there's both a factor that once you treat your villagers well, you have a higher chance to get 4 out of 4 people or 3 out of 4 people, but there's no guarantee, and it's still just based a little bit on luck, I think. Well, we already have a miller assigned. We have 2 bakers now. Not that we have any grain or flour, so they can't use that. But the baker is done and it's ready. And that reminds me, because the baker needs water. So let's build a well here, so the baker has a water supply close by and it don't have to walk all the way to the village all the time. Which I think can be quite good. Not having to lose time with that, because going to pick up water all the time costs a lot of time and I don't want that. So for production it is way more efficient to build a well close to your bakery. And well, I think our village is going okay. We have solved all problems, which is good. We build a church, we are expanding. As we can see, quite a few trees are being chopped down. All areas are getting free from trees. So I think that's making it look better and more organized. I'm going to remove quite a few of these. Just want this tree to go, so leave that up. But yeah, that really makes it a lot clearer and gives a better view of where we can host new people. As you can see, these ones are also working already, which is nice. 3 people joined, our wheat farm is done, so that's probably one of the last things I'm going to do. I'm going to pause this game, click the farmer, and that's the thing you have to do. You have to paint a crop field where he will just sow the stuff and grow it and then harvest it. So just click that. You can see by the bright green areas that those are very fertile, and it works basically the same as the other zoning. You just zone an area. In this case we'll do it around the lumber camp. That will go at some point. You have to make quite a large area. I'm going to do this area already, because once they chop down the trees, it can use that. Now you can see the state it's in. It's harvesting right now. Has to do with the season, so they won't be sowing anything yet. So if I unpause, you won't see them sow anything. But those seasons will just go around, so that's fine. And next season up with sowing, they will start sowing, and then after that they will grow it and harvest it. So that's done right now. The mill is being built, so everything looks kind of good in our cute little village. So yeah, we've made progress. Maybe not as much as I would love to, but well, this is it for this time. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. That'll be a big help. And I hope to see you in the next episode, of course. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.